Carmelina here from VedicLight18.com. And today I want to talk about June 2026. This is a beautiful month with some lovely alignments going on. And there are a few bumps on the road this month. There's going to be a Uranus T-square with the nodes with Rahu and Ketu, which can bring something sudden, like a sudden event that can be pretty intense because Uranus is squaring the karmic nodes. And so it can trigger some sort of event in the world. Then we have Mercury going retrograde by the end of the month on June 29th. This is the same day as the full moon in Sagittarius, by the way. And we have the pre-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde that begins about 2 weeks prior. So around there's a big spider there. Around mid-June, that's when things can start going a little bit haywire, but not so much. It's flying. Okay. It's not so much haywire in Cancer. It's really about deep introspection and maybe fixing things around the house and reconsidering certain relationships, because Mercury will be conjunct Venus and Jupiter. And so it's this energy of reconsidering your well-being, reconsidering issues surrounding your home, surrounding maybe family dynamics, love relationships of all sorts, things of that nature. But then Mercury will be backing up into Gemini, and it's going to be retrograde there for a couple of weeks. And so that's for July. And then that's when things can go a little bit haywire with technological glitches and travel delays and disruptions and things like that. So these are the two bumps on the road with Uranus and with Mercury that is going on. Other than that, we have beautiful alignments. And I want to get to that. So yes, we start the month. I already spoke about this, but I'm going to speak about this just a little bit. We start the month June 1st with Jupiter entering the sign of its exaltation and going into Cancer from Gemini. When Jupiter was in Gemini, really the focus was on expanding the logical, rational mind, the discriminative part of the mind. And it was a lot about information, looking for information, looking for facts, even details. And Jupiter was really expanding our curiosity. And the focus was a lot on social media and disclosure and the truth being disclosed on social media and things like that. It's not just due to this transit, it's also other things that were going on. But now the energy is going to be completely different. Of course, it's a different sign. It's a water sign. Cancer pertains to our emotions, to our feelings. And so it's not so much about logic, about facts, about data and information. It's about your gut feeling, your intuition, your intuitive inner knowing and gnosis. And so Jupiter will be expanding that. It will be expanding your emotions, your feelings, your heart center, especially when Venus enters Cancer on June 8th. It will bring the energy of the heart and the heart center, because Venus rules our heart center. And we are full of energy centers within the body. And these are all connected to the planets. And so we're not just interconnected with the cosmos, we have an inner cosmos. And that's very interesting to learn these things, these very profound, advanced, esoteric things, we can say, because it's not common knowledge. Most people don't know about this because it's not taught in school and it's not taught in your at Sunday church or whatever. But anyways, Venus will bring the heart energy, the love energy, and all that. But Jupiter will be expanding your well-being and issues surrounding your psychological and emotional well-being. So this is about protecting your peace. Cancer deals with our peace of mind and peace of heart and our inner world, our inner life, our private life. So this Jupiter transit has a lot to do with protecting your peace. And this is going to be a big theme amongst women. And so, Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon rules women in general, especially the mother energy, the caregiving energy. And there is going to be a focus on women and how we can protect women and keep women safe and things like that. So many things will transpire. There's a lot of things going on with Jupiter. So the first beautiful alignment of the month is on June 9th. And this is when the two great benefics, Venus and Jupiter, will align and conjunct at 1 degree in sidereal Cancer in this portion of the sky called Punarvasu. And this is beautiful, beautiful, because this star deals with the return of the light. The 1 degree pertains to new beginnings, a new start. Punarvasu is all about second chances, starting over, restoration, renewal, the energy of renewal. This is a massive emotional reset that is happening. And Jupiter is in Punarvasu until June 19. And so this energy is really beautiful, and it has the power to set you off on a brand new life path altogether, like a 360 degree turnaround. And so it's very hopeful. It's very optimistic. Now, the Jupiter-Venus conjunction, this is a conjunction that happens in Cancer only once every 12 years. Actually, 12 years ago, it happened twice. It happened in 2014 and it happened in 2015. In 2015, the conjunction was at 27 degrees of Cancer in Ashlesha Nakshatra. So that's a Gandanta degree, which can be a little bit overwhelming. And in 2014, it happened at 13 degrees Cancer in Pushya Nakshatra. So these energies are different. So you have to consider the degree and you have to consider the nakshatra that it's happening in, the lunar mansion, the portion of the sky where this is happening, because it's very indicative. So you want to go back to 2015. In 2015, it was in July. It was July 1st, the conjunction. Around that time, did something happen? Did you receive a blessing? Did you get into a new relationship? Did you travel? Did you get some sort of gift? Did you, make more money or something like that? Look back to then, because something similar can repeat itself. It's not going to be exactly the same, because it's never exactly the same, but the energy can be the same. And so Jupiter and Venus is notorious for bringing a special person into your life, a brand new relationship, something that's very harmonious. Actually, in this case, in Punarvasu, at 1 degree, this is very promising. And so if you are single, this can bring you the gift of a relationship, a brand new relationship that's harmonious, effortless. Things will develop naturally. And I'm telling you, the nakshatra is very good for this conjunction. In 2015, actually, that conjunction then in Gandanta brought me a relationship, but it was a very rocky one. But it did bring me blessings of travel and traveling overseas and going to see my family overseas. And And I traveled a little bit, and so there's that. So you want to look and see, did you meet someone and things like that 11 years ago, 12 years ago? What kind of relationship did it perhaps bring to you? Now, if you happen to have the fifth lord and the seventh lord ruled by Jupiter or Venus, then you are perhaps going to meet somebody new. And it doesn't happen on the day, on June 9th. It can happen before, it can happen after, but around this time. Around this time. Another gift that Jupiter and Venus brings is basically wealth. It can bring you some sort of financial gift or something like that. This is a good day to invest. It's also a good day to purchase something beautiful, something meaningful. It's a fantastic day for creativity, creative, artistic activities, things like that. It's a good time for heartfelt connections, connecting with the people that you love the most. It's a fantastic time for that. And so, also, if you have planets in Cancer near the early degrees, near the 1 degree, but I would say even at any degree in Cancer, it can bring you something beautiful and a particular gift. And this is not about luck. I know that in Western astrology, people tend to, when they talk about Jupiter, they talk about luck. Well, if you're lucky, something good is going to happen. There's no luck in Vedic astrology, in the Vedic philosophy. It's not about luck, it's about karma. And it's about timing. If it's the right timing according to your karma, that's when things manifest and that's when things develop. There's also the grace of God, because Jupiter is all about the grace of God too. So June 9th, a beautiful, blessed day that can certainly bring you gifts. It's going to bring a lot of good energy, high frequency, comfort, pleasure, romance, heartfelt connections, all these things, okay? After that, so now on June 12th, we have the T square involving Uranus, Rahu, and Ketu. So Uranus in Taurus at 8 degrees and 28 minutes is exactly at the midpoint of Rahu in Aquarius and Ketu in Leo. So that is a T square. And so basically Uranus is squaring the nodes and activating the nodes. And so this is a hard aspect. And so this creates sudden disruption, sudden disruptive energy. And so there could be some sort of left field event that happens suddenly in the world. This can pertain to leaders and people in power, because Ketu's in Leo and Rahu is in Aquarius, and Aquarius has to do with the people, with society, with human beings, with, Uranus rules technology and electricity. And Rahu in Aquarius is also about technology. It has a lot to do with very advanced technology, Rahu as well. And so maybe there's some sort of disruption at the technological level. Maybe there is, I'm not sure what's going to transpire, but I'm thinking it could be even something violent in the world, which I hope that's not going to be the case, because of Uranus being in Kritika Nakshatra, and this nakshatra pertains to weaponry, and it's very fiery type of energy that's going on. And there is, there's a sextile with Venus and Uranus during this time, which is a positive thing. Venus is the ruler of Taurus, but nonetheless, Uranus is triggering and squaring Rahu and Ketu. So this can create some sort of breaking point in the world, and this can lead to like a breakthrough or a sudden awakening type of energy. but it's definitely disruptive. It can definitely cause some upset, a lot of intense upset. And we are in Kalasarpa Yoga. So everything that happens during Kalasarpa Yoga, all the aspects are that much more intensified. And so there's that to consider. At a personal level, a T-square forces us to face something that we've been avoiding. So it doesn't give you a choice. You're going to have to face that thing. That sudden, in this case, that sudden, abrupt, disruptive uh, energy event that could take place. So there's that sort of energy around June 12th, leading up to June 12th. So then on June 14, we have a new moon in Taurus. So this is another new moon in Taurus. The last one was in the early degrees of Taurus, and this time it's going to be in the last degree of Taurus. It's at 29 degrees and 50 minutes. Very critical degree, this 29 degree, because it has to do with endings and completions, and basically closing a chapter in your life. And Mrigashira Nakshatra has to do with a search. It's called the searching star. And it pertains to this restless type of energy. It's ruled by Mars, planet Mars. And it has to do with the search for fulfillment, the search for truth, the search for comfort. It has a lot to do with, it's a very sensual nakshatra, because now we have the energy of Mars and Venus, right? It's ruled by Mars, it's in the sign Taurus, ruled by Venus, very sensual. But this new moon can point to the end of a search. Maybe you've been searching for something for a long time, and now you don't have to search anymore. And so it's about closing a specific chapter in your life and leaving room for something new to arrive. Basically, this is the energy of this new moon in Taurus. And Venus is conjunct Jupiter during this time, which is very positive. So I'm seeing very positive things with this new moon. It's a good omen. So that's on the 14th. On the 15th, the following day, the sun enters Gemini to July 16. So happy birthday to all the Gemini sun signs out there. The sun will be illuminating Gemini for about a month, 30 days. And this is about socializing, curiosity, social media. And so perfect time to socialize, perfect time even for romance a little bit, because Gemini is not the sign of the twins in Vedic astrology, it's the sign of the couple. And so there's an emphasis on polarities. And so yes, Gemini people think about relationships a lot more than they would like to admit, especially if they're single. And so on the 16th at 11:30 p.m. at night, Eastern Standard Time, I'm in Eastern Canada, by the way, the moon enters its own sign of Cancer and joins Jupiter and Venus. On the following day, on the 17th, the moon will be hemmed by these two great benefics. And this brings a lot of comfort to the heart, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, a lot of beauty. This is a wonderful time. And the moon is here for 2 days and a half. It's going to be here until the 18th, late afternoon or sometime afternoon-ish. However, on the 17th, later on during the day, Venus and the moon will both reach 10 degrees and they will be opposite Pluto. So this opposition with Pluto can really trigger suppressed subconscious feelings and emotions. And you know, we may feel like we're being manipulated by the other person or by someone, or we may feel some sort of jealousy or even resentment or things like that, you know. And also Pluto and Venus pertain to finances and shared resources, and so there could be some contention there pertaining to that. But I'm not seeing this as a major issue. I'm seeing this as something that you can fix easily, either within yourself or in relationships, because Jupiter is there, because Jupiter is conjunct Venus and the moon on this day. And so it gives you the opportunity to kind of heal these issues, to at least recognize that there's this tension and to do something positive about it. Now, on June 22nd, Mercury enters Cancer, and this is when we have the formation of Saraswati Yoga in transit. And so now we have the three benefics, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, all in Cancer, the sign of Jupiter's exaltation. And this is amazing. This gives higher wisdom, higher intelligence. This opens up the channels of inner knowing, inner knowledge, deep, profound knowledge. People that are born with the Saraswati Yoga have, you know, varying talents. They could be great at communicating or writing. They can have some sort of artistic talent, creative talent, something like that. And so these are people that carry a lot of grace, a lot of beauty, a lot of blessings from the goddess Saraswati, which is, you know, energy personified. That's one way of looking at it. Saraswati Yoga is from June 22nd to July 4th, okay? And it can bring you some form of blessing into your life, some beautiful blessing, because we're talking about three benefics being together in the sign of Jupiter's exaltation. And so even though, you know, a true Saraswati Yoga is formed in a Kendra, in the angular houses 1, 4, 7, and 10, or in the Trikona houses, the trinal houses 1, 5, and 9. And there's two exceptions with the 2nd and the 11th house. So that's how a true Saraswati Yoga is formed, when any of these three benefics are in any of these houses, from the ascendant or from the moon sign. Then you have a Saraswati Yoga, and they can be in the same sign, or they can be, you know, in these different houses, okay? But nonetheless, even in transit, it can certainly, and it will certainly bring you some form of blessing one way or another. It could be in a tangible form, or it could be just the blessing of higher awareness, deeper learning, you know, learning something maybe about yourself, learning, understanding something, having some sort of breakthrough even during this time. But this is a beautiful transit that brings a lot of harmony, a lot of beauty to the air and to the energy and the atmosphere, and to your home as well, your home life and your family dynamics. After that, on the 29th, let's just go to the 29th of June, we have the full moon in Sagittarius at 14 degrees in Purva Ashada Nakshatra. And this is the day that Mercury turns retrograde. It stations and it goes retrograde at 2 degrees in Punarvasu Nakshatra. So now, the fact that it's happening on the same day means that there's some sort of major revelation that is brought to light on this day. And we have to also consider the fact that the three benefics are sitting in the eighth house from the full moon. And the eighth house has that energy of Scorpio and secrets. And so to me, this full moon looks like there's some sort of big secret that can come to the surface. Some sort of really deeply hidden information can suddenly arise now. And Purva Ashada, this portion of the sky where the full moon will be, has a lot to do with the water energy, the energy of the Apas, I think it's called that, I forget now, but these are water goddesses, and it has to do with purification, and it has to do with the truth, especially aligning with our truth and aligning with the truth, and having this, you know, and the moon is the ruler of Cancer, the ruler of the eighth house, where all the three benefics are sitting. And so there's this connection to the eighth house energy and with higher awareness. Like full moons are really the peak of awareness, and this is when the full moon brings something to us in the form of a revelation, an information, something we didn't know, something, you know, clarity comes. And so now, and also the three benefics from the full moon, or from the moon in general, is what we call this Adi Yoga. It gives you some form of protection, some form of blessing as well. So it's a beautiful full moon. And then after that, well, we have on the 30th, Mars is going to be at the midpoint of Rahu and Ketu at 6 degrees and 45 minutes. This is going to trigger something possibly not so lovely in the world at mundane astrology level, okay? Because Mars is going to be squaring Rahu and Ketu. It's going to be sitting in Taurus in Kritika Nakshatra, not too far from Algol. And so this inner energy is a lot more disruptive and fiery. And so that's how the month, the end of the month is going to end. And that's it, guys. That's it for me. And I hope that you've enjoyed this monthly forecast.